Hey guys, Joffo here. We're going to do a setup tutorial and then we're also going to play the tutorial mission for you today. As you can see, my gaming table is quite full with everything here. We're going to be playing Massive Darkness, so we're going to go through how to set it up a game, and then we're going to come back, we're going to show you how to play the first level of the mission, or the first mission, which is also Mission 0, a tutorial mission, kind of shows you exactly how to go through. So, of course, the first thing you're going to need to do, after, of course, you get all of your stuff pushed out of your punch boards, get all your cards out and sorted, is you're going to need to go through. Let's see if I can get this camera working right. Pick one of your quests here. We are going to do Walking in the Dark. It's the tutorial mission. It's very basic. Kind of gives you an example of how the system is going to work, how everything will go through, how to set everything up, and all of that. So once you've chosen your mission, the next thing that you need to go through is go ahead and pick your starting tiles here, which we've got here accordingly. According to the mission, it also dictates what tokens need to be placed on the board. We've got a bunch of stuff there. The next thing you're going to want to start doing is go through the regular playing card size cards and sort them by their backs. Their backs are going to give you greater and lesser roaming monsters, as well as guards 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then out of the smaller cards, you're going to want to go ahead and sort and shuffle all of those by your door, your event, and again, your treasures of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finally, you're going to want to get your artifact deck. You are going to want to put that aside. It's not going to be used. It's going to be called for in the mission if you're needing it. You're going to have all of this lovely little punch board sitting around. Lastly, the last thing you want to do, set up a Lifebringer token. The Lifebringer is essentially how many times we can return to life. If there are none of these little tokens on there, that's it, done, game over, we lose. Once we have all of that stuff figured out, then it's time to figure out what we're going to do with players. So, since we're playing by ourselves today, we have one of 6 characters. We have Bjorn. That is going to look like this guy. We have Bjorn. Alright, now these guys are fairly well detailed. They don't have much to them as far as color. They're in brown, bad guys are in gray. Pretty simple. If you guys want to see me do a painting of them, let me know. And I can start putting together some stuff and start painting these guys. Show you guys online. The next guy we have up is Elias the Wizard. At least he looks like Wizard. He kind of looks very much like a stolen Gandalf the Grey style model. Next up, we have Owen. Owen represents kind of like your standard two-handed warrior paladin. There we go. Next up, we have Sybil. Looks like she's going to be some kind of elvish ranger, your Legolas-y type of character. Next up, we have Siegfried. Siegfried is a dwarf. This is one of the good guy dwarfs on here. We will be fighting a lot of his evil kin. And finally, we have Whisper. Whisper looks like your kind of shadow rogue assassin. Going to be kind of fun to paint her up, I think, if you guys want to see it. She's going to be all darks, blacks, and blues, and grays, things like that. Now, one thing to notate when you're choosing your character, if you look here, you'll see they have a shadow ability. They also have a special skill, and then if this is your first time playing, they suggest you take the recommended class to go with said character. So we're going to move this here. So if we take a look at Whisper, her Shadow Mode skill, for an attack, defenders get -1 defense if she's in shadow. Again, look at her special skill, Swift, 1 movement point per movement action. So she actually moves a heck of a lot faster. For a basic movement action, you can actually move 2 spaces. That means she's going to get to move 3 spaces. So I think, and of course, I do like the color purple, so you are going to need to take one of these lovely handy little trays. take 3 of these beautiful little pegs. They're going to slot in. They're going to determine your health, your experience, and your micro experience if you're playing in story mode. You're going to take one of these rings to match to put on the bottom of your figures. And then we'll eventually get some starting equipment. So first, let's pick our hero. You know what? I think I like her. I think we're going to stick with our little ninja chick, Whisper. So we're going to take Whisper. We're going to take her figure. We're going to slap her ring on her base. And she goes right there on that starting spot. So let's move all these guys out of the way. Finally, the last thing that needs to be done, well, second to last thing actually, is we need to pick a character class. This being a role-playing board game, pick a character class. You've got what class you are. They do have starting signature skills. Everybody starts with this for free, and then everybody gets a free class skill. However, as we go through, of course, being a role-playing game, you're going to want to spend experience, you're going to want to earn experience, and you're going to make your character better. So as we go through, you've got this lovely sheet here, and this is going to show you how you're going to level up. You've got your level 1 skills, your level 2, 3, 4, and 5. You cannot buy a level 2 skill before you buy a level 1, as long as there's something in the level 1 before it. The number here, if you can see that, denotes how much it's going to cost you to buy that, and then of course a little tick box to say that you're there. If you take a look at our pre-set up board here, we've got a token of a 1 and a token of a 2. You cannot use abilities before you are in that level. So you cannot use a level 2 ability before you are into level 2 of a dungeon. So only the level 1 skills are available. And for classes, we have a Battle Wizard, Paladin Fury, the Blood Moon Night Runner, a Pit Fighter Berserker, Nightshade Ranger, and finally the Shadow Barbarian. Now, let's see. It says I should take the Blood Moon Hunter. Or Night Runner. Sorry, the Blood Moon Night Runner. So we're going to take this. The final thing that you'll need to do for setup is get some starting gear. Everybody gets a piece of leather armor. It doesn't matter if you're a wizard or if you're a paladin, you start with leather armor. However, there is a small handful of cards here. We can choose things, well, we don't need leather armor, we already have leather armor. But there's the two-handed axe. There's the staff. There's the long sword, the spear, the short bow, and the mace. Things to notate on these things to understand what they are. This shows how many hands you can hold it. You can have up to 2 hands of equipment. Hey, guess what? We're all humanoid. We only have 2 hands of equipment. This shows the level of gear that it is, so that is important for an additional ability we won't get into in this setup phase. And then finally, it tells you what kind of a weapon it is, a melee. It tells you what kind of special ability it has. This one has attack. If we attack with it, defenders get -1 shield. And then it shows you what kind of dice you roll. For a melee attack, you roll one of these yellow dice. Yellow dice and red dice, those make up your attack dice. Blue dice and green dice, those make up your defensive dice. So you're rolling yellow, not as good as rolling the red one. So where we were trying to choose what equipment we want to get for our Shadow Assassin. So we've got mace, we've got a short bow, we got a spear, a long sword, a staff, and an axe. She moves pretty quick, so I like that. This spear, if you can see that there, can be used to perform melee actions against range 0 and 1. Normally, melee can only attack the square you're in. But from here, I could shoot this guy and this guy. Which that seems like a pretty beefy ability for me. So quick moving, hard hitting, or fast hitting. The other thought we could do is just go crazy and bring the one red die with the two-handed axe. But I don't think I should play like that. I think we should play this with, well, what has she got? She's got, looks like a drippy spear. Looks like drippy daggers, but I don't see drippy daggers in here. So I think we'll take the spear. So we'll move these guys off the side, get the dwarfs out of here. Move our character back to start. And there you go, guys. This is pretty much, in fact, this is a tutorial game set up, ready to play. So there you go. Takes a little bit to set it up, a little bit of work, but once you're all done and ready, we're ready to rock and roll. So I'll be back shortly with the next video. In the next video, we'll be playing the tutorial mission, and I'll show you exactly how to play. We'll go through and explain everything, and we'll see how bad my rolling is on live camera.